All right. Welcome everyone. It's uh it's Joe and the big Eski today. Casting the Collegiate Chess League.
Hello,
I hope
everyone.
I'm not flunking it straight off the jump, Joe.
No, you're doing great. I was letting you start. No, yeah, this is the last match of the entire season, actually. Division 3 finals. We just watched Division 1 finals yesterday. SLU took down UT Dallas by a very close match of 8.5 to 7.5. But now we actually have an international matchup here today in Division 3 finals. It is Bilkent University, all the way from Turkey, versus St. Xavier's College in Kolkata, India. So, very exciting matchup here today. And of course, I'm very excited to be joined by the one and only Eskiya. So, Eskiya, welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Joe. I'm specifically excited because it's a Turkish team. That's why I'm here. I think that's why you got me here. Yeah, just really excited to cast this stuff with you.
Yeah, and I'm excited to be co hosting with a great chess streamer such as yourself and learn maybe a little bit more about the Turkish schools. Because this is the first time a Turkish school has ever joined the Collegiate Chess League, but apparently they have their own Turkish university championship with many schools. So I'm hoping that being able to broadcast their finals game here
Yeah,
and potentially recruit more Turkish schools to be joining next season.
yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, we already got a bunch of top chess players, right? Like Khan and so on, and we should definitely get some more from these schools.
Yeah, we've had Turkish players competing in the CCL before. Grandmaster JJ Chimilchan competed for the SLU team back in the day. Obviously, is graduated from SLU, but obviously Turkey has a lot of talented
Yeah,
players. So, really interested to see how they do here today. We should be having the game starting any minute now. But yeah, I don't know if you recognize Bilkent University or if you've ever been there or know where it is, but maybe you could tell us a little bit more.
well, it's in the capital of Turkey. That much I know about it. I've never been to the university there, but I sure went to Ankara a couple of times. It's a really busy city, and I'm just excited to see these unique players go at it.
Yeah, and looks like we have the game starting here, and I see we have develop YouTube as the username for the
Hmm.
Indian player. Um, this is their board four, I believe, or maybe I just have the board order wrong, but they're playing up against Yusuf here, who's a national master at 2677. So they're definitely the favorite in this match. But I really like White's position. They have the bishop pair, and they're going to target these triple isolated c pawns that Yusuf has.
Yeah, yeah, triple pawns. I mean, this is not, this is way above my elo. This is way above my pay grade, as they say. But I'm just looking to learn a couple of things from these great games, and of course, having you as my co-caster, maybe you can fill me in on some of these highly theoretical things here.
No, I mean I don't know the theory either, but I do have the eval bar, so
All
Uh,
right.
luckily, I have that on my side. But yeah, I see all four games have started actually, and I want to take a look at all of the players in this matchup. We have India's board one actually is the strongest rated player in this matchup,
Mm-hmm.
Soham, who is 2885 and has no title on their account. So definitely a strong player for board one from St. Xavier's. They're playing up against Ref Chamil Furkan, it looks like, who's the board 4 from Turkey.
Mm-hmm. Let me actually swap boards real
Yeah,
quick.
they're at 2383, board 4. So it seems to me like the Turkish team is maybe a bit more well-rounded. The difference between their board 1 and their board 4 is about 300 elo, whereas the difference between India's board 1 and their board 4 is like 700. So it'll be an interesting matchup. I'm wondering if anyone's going to be able to take down Soham, who is 2800. But all these players are fairly close. It's also Blitz 5+2, so really anything could happen.
Yeah, exactly. And the time control. I mean, I'm usually used to watching classical games online, but I think they're also pretty good at these fast time controls. I mean, judging from these positions, they're really going ham at it.
Yeah, and even in the top division, we see blunders happen all the time. But yeah, Soham, he's got the black pieces. He's building up a time advantage, and looks like they just snagged the pawn. I'm wondering if, yeah, Chamil is trying to maybe set a trap for this queen, but the queen just goes back to a5, not grabbing the a pawn. That could have been a
Yeah,
blunder.
that would have been a trap then, no, with the bishop in the straight line of sight of the queen.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there was like takes on b6. But okay, we do have some of the other games going on. I do want to bring our attention to some of the other boards,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can introduce all of the players. We have Wandering Hunter from Turkey playing up against Karito from India. So
Mm-hmm.
Wandering Hunter, this is Captain Khan Yildirim. Honestly, I should let you pronounce the Turkish names because I don't know.
I'll start with the whole list, I guess. That's on your stream. Yusuf Eren Kavri is the first one. Mate, that was the username. Kaptan Khan Yildirim is a wandering hunter. Efe Metehan Yavuz is Magakaru. And Cemil Furkan Derbentli is Refcem 2008.
Yes. Yeah, I know the C's are pronounced like J's.
Yeah, yeah, and there are also like a lot of like accents to it, kind of like I guess it's kind of influenced from the Balkans, with like a C with like a little tail to it, or you know, eyes without a dot. We also have an eye without dot. Did you know that, Joe?
I might have seen one.
Yeah.
uh,
Like if you have like Turkish friends and you've seen them in like chats or in WhatsApp environments, it might happen that they type you an I without a dot. So that's an as we call it. So it's a dampened I. So if you see that anywhere, then you might be chatting with a Turkish person.
that's good to know. And yeah, I see Asmoata and Oscar and Destrin in the chat. Hello, everyone. And shout out to
Yeah, what's up,
Ginny.
guys?
Ginny was the first in chat. But yeah, Asmoata is saying like J's or G's?
The
The
which
C's.
which letter? Oh, the C. It's like a DJ, like J.
Oh, it's a DJ. Okay. Got it.
Scoot to the left a bit. All right.
That's probably my
I hope it's
fault.
not mirrored. Let me scoot up a little
Sorry.
bit.
No, you're good. Thank you.
Oh
Shout out
yeah,
to
we good.
Sam.
We good.
Shout out to Sam. All right.
Thank you, Sam.
So maybe we should keep an eye on the top board from Turkey, actually.
Yeah, let's
Yusuf,
flip to it.
because Yusuf is their highest rated player up against the board 4 from India, who's only 2191. But if you look at the time control, there's a minute
Mm-hmm.
advantage for Team India with the white pieces. So
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily worried, but maybe a little nervous because if a board 4 beats a board 1 in the first round, that is actually a really big advantage for the
Yeah.
India team.
Yeah, exactly. And this is not a classical game. This is these are some tight time controls, and I think a whole minute is a huge advantage here.
Yeah.
And
And
depending, judging from the position, I think White's bishop is all the way, behind enemy lines. I think it's going to be very tricky to get that bishop back.
yeah, look at this move. Bishop to e2. It's skewering the rook and the bishop. The
Mm-hmm.
computer was saying there was this move rook down to d7, attacking the other bishop, but instead we see knight takes e4, giving up the exchange. So
Yeah,
white is up a point in material. However, they do have these really active minor pieces.
yeah. And I prefer kind of giving up the exchange in favor of activity. Beautiful centralized minor pieces. And oh, I see the eval bar dip, Joe. What's going on?
Yeah, that's a big blunder here. White just
Oh
thought they could
no.
snag that c6 pawn, but we see this minor piece activity is coming to life now. Queen to
Yep.
f5, and we're threatening some gnarly checks on f2. So how would you defend this? You can't play rook f1, right?
Hmm.
F4 makes sense, pushing that pawn, but now the queen has another entrance. You can
Yeah.
go a5. This is a massive move here. Can Yusuf find it?
Oh.
Moment of truth. I know Eskia would find it. Oh. So not quite, not quite. Queen a5, it's a peculiar move actually. Just trying to get to d2, but here we see a similar idea, still good for black. Black's trying to get into e2 or maybe even f3,
Hmm.
but now there's rook e1. And that's why queen a5 was so strong. It actually prevented rook e1. Rook e1's the best defense for white.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well, it's
goodness. We're getting a huge
our
raid.
Indian friend to find it. Oh yeah, damn. Stevie coming in with a bunch of people, 260 or 36 to be exact.
our
Welcome
fellow
everyone.
Dutchies.
Yeah, welcome.
So if you guys are just tuning in, we are watching the Division 3 finals of the Collegiate Chess League, and I'm joined by none other than Eskia, so be sure to go follow him, check him out. What's up, Christy? Good to see you. We're watching a Turkish team, Bilkent University, up against an Indian team, St. Xavier's. And right now, the Indian board 4 found the best move, the best defense, rook to e1. And now black has to walk a tightrope to remain ahead in this evaluation. So right now there's only two moves. Queen f3 is a very natural move here. It's one of them. The other is apparently knight d2. So I'm expecting queen f3 though.
Yeah, that could very well be the case here. I mean, um, I don't see White having much counterplay here, but they just have to weather the storm, as they say it.
Oh my god, they're sacking their knight. Knight takes g3.
Oh, huge.
And the idea is that if white takes, queen takes, and that's going to be a fork on the king and the rook. King can't go to f1 because the bishop covers that.
Exciting plays.
Whoa, white gives
But
the
the time
exchange
control,
back. Certainly just queen takes. Yeah,
yeah,
trade
but
queens.
Ujan is in a little bit of a time control problem here, but they're both on like just 20 seconds.
Yeah, so black is up a pawn, but white has these doubled isolated pass pawns though. But it's opposite color bishops, so this very well likely could be a draw.
Yeah, so it seems, I think, yeah, the bishop is just going to block those two passed pawns. And we're going to see some king activity here in the center. But yeah, as you said, these are kind of, tend to go into a drawn position.
Okay, I have to bring our attention now to the legends with 5 seconds against Magakaru. Magakaru sounds like a mix of like Nakamura or I don't know, Hikaru and something. Who knows?
And Magnus, I guess.
Oh, that's a great. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the Legends flags, there was mate threatened. So Turkey goes up on top. They start this
Nice.
match with a 1 point lead. Where else? We've got time scrambles on all the boards. I want to bring our attention now maybe to Wandering Hunter against Kirito.
Mm-hmm.
So Kirito looks like they're winning with the black pieces. There's this really dangerous F pawn. Ooh, but then white has the pass pawn as well. E6. Knight E5 check. The king's running for its life. And now white's 1 square away from promoting. Oh my god, they blundered mate in 1.
happens to the
Oh,
best of
it
us.
happens to all of us. So Kirito ties the match back. It's 1-1 right now.
Jeez. I mean, that's just maybe call it pressure or call it time scramble, but it happens. It happens to the best of us.
So now I'm watching Chamil versus Soham. Soham is that board 1 we were mentioning.
Yeah.
Looks like so Yusuf was able to win on his board. So board 1 from Turkey getting the job done against the board 4, and now this is a really big game for Turkey's board 4 because they have the white pieces and they're up in exchange against the board 1 from India.
But the clock is also ticking on this board, Joe. They're in a
Oh,
time scramble again. And I see the eval bar jump up.
yeah, there was a win. Rook takes a3, also defended the g pawn, and now this is going to be a draw, but that's with perfect play, and Soham only has 7 seconds.
I mean, flagging even happens in these high, elo boards. Let's see if they can, flag each other.
Yeah, the white king is running to that corner, just making sure that the a pawn doesn't get through. I'm expecting a check here, but there's bishop b4 block. Okay, king goes in the corner.
I mean, it's a dark square bishop, right? So on a white square, the white king is, safe at all times.
Yeah, so this should be a draw. Yeah, white missed that rook takes a3 chance to win. Can we play king c4? Jamil could flag. They're down to 2 seconds. They might just sack the rook here for the pawn. 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And that might be the case here, I think.
Either
No?
side could blunder. Yeah, they gotta. Whoa. 3, 2.
It's coming down to the wire, man.
This is the riveting chess that you see at the end of like a Title Tuesday round.
Yes, exactly.
What's up, Alan?
I mean, there could be a repetition, I think, at this point, because the rook has been to g6 a couple of times.
Oh, here we go. All right. They've had enough. And we have a drop, which is a great result for the Turkish team. That's their board 4 against the highest rated player in the match, a 2800 board 1 from St. Xavier. So right now, Turkey has a 1 point lead going into round 2. That's pretty big.
Yeah, that's huge. I'm really excited to see the next couple of games.
Yeah, and as a reminder for anyone that doesn't know the format, it's similar to what the Pro Chess League used to be, but it's 4 versus 4 team match, and it's first to 8.5 points wins because there are 4 rounds. Each player plays everyone from the other team for a total of 16 games in the match. So 8.5 points is all you need to win. And if it's tied 8-8, we'll actually go to a 5th round overtime. So it could come down to the wire there. Also, I'm seeing Houseline in the chat. Shout out to Houseline. Good to see Houseline here.
Yeah, everyone showed up. It's really nice to see all the common names,
all of our friends. It's so
all
so
of our
lovely.
friends.
Yes, shout out to the lovely chess community on Twitch. All right, we have round 2 now starting here. Soham, the 2800 up against the Wandering Hunter.
And now the colors are changed, right? Because I think Soham was black before.
Yeah. So each player will have 2 whites and 2 blacks.
Right.
And yeah, Soham looks like they're playing a London system.
Oh wow, I know for sure that there are some London system enjoyers in the chat.
We don't have to name names here, but we know who you are.
Yes. I mean, maybe I will name some names,
Oh.
Joe. I mean,
Are you prepared to get called out?
yeah, prepare to get called out in the chat. I'm looking at you, Sam. I'm
Oh,
looking at you.
uh-oh. Yeah, and Sam, he has no shame. He's loud and proud in the chat, all caps for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, okay. Well, yeah, I do like White's position though. They've queenside castled already, and if Black kingside castles, we'll have an opposite side castles. But that's if Black even castles, because right now White is
Hmm.
throwing some punches in the center. The knight is already under attack, and I don't think Black wants to take that pawn with their pawn. So we do see the knight moving instead, with the counter punch actually against White's bishop. So we see this knight trade in the center, but now Black is actually going to be down a pawn, and that's an annoying
Hmm.
pawn. It's technically a pass pawn here on d6. So yeah, Black did not want to sacrifice their structure and go down, and is going to have to just live around this d6 pawn. I'm sure Sam is probably taking notes here.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say like the queen side is a little bit underdeveloped for White, but that just got fixed by knight h3. We just need a nice place for bishop, and then we could just centralize our rook as well. And then I think Soham is looking really good.
Yeah, and Soham as the top board definitely needs to be a team leader and get some more points on the board. So that draw they had against Chamil in round 1, that is the difference maker. Otherwise, it would have been tied 2-2 if Soham could have closed that one out. So now that he's got the white pieces, he's going to be trying here. And interesting move here from Wandering Hunter. This is Captain Khan, which is I hope he's the team captain, because that would be a great
Hmm.
appropriate name for him.
Kaptan Kaan Yıldırım, and yeah, Kaptan means captain, so it's just some jobs are just written to your name, I guess.
A natural born leader, this guy.
Exactly.
Okay, maybe we take a look at some of the other games and see if anyone else played a Jobava. I've got Magakaru, the Magnus and Hikaru combo.
The fusion, exactly.
Yeah, he's playing against the board 4 from India. And it looks like so far it's pretty even. White's got a double fianchetto set up, and both
Yeah,
sides of castle kingside with the fianchetto.
double fianchetto and a nice open c-file for White, which is exactly what White is using here. Just plop the rook on there and just forget. The weird thing here, this, maybe it's just weird to me, we haven't moved our e-pawn yet as White, so that's different. Bishop a6 kind of looks like a bit of a passive move, I think.
Well, the bishop wants to keep an eye on that e-pawn that hasn't moved and pin
Hmm.
it to the rook on f1, but White can actually play a game of copycat here and play bishop a3, which does the same thing except
Yeah,
with this knight on c5. And I thought it was kind of weird bishop a6, because the knight on c5 looks like it's hanging and it's lined up opposite of the rook. So I was wondering initially if we could play a move like knight takes d5 with the discovery. Um,
hmm,
but maybe Black had a counter to that. Maybe Oh, I guess the bishop on b2 was hanging. So bishop a3 also gets out of the long diagonal pin. So this is a
Yes.
really nice move here from Magakaru.
Yeah, and it's exactly what what these fianchetto bishops are for. You always, with every move, you have to take into consideration what those snipers in the nest do, and it really complicates every move that you make from there on onwards. And of course, like you said, White is just going for the copycat, and we're just pinning everything here. And the bishop is just still there, applying pressure in the queen side there.
Yeah, so the best move here is to defend the knight. You can play rook to c8, and then white has this knight takes d5 tactic. So
Yeah.
unleashing the rook on c1 against this knight. So there's another move that's interesting though. Queen a5. Actually, it's a threat against the bishop and the knight on c3 as well as defends the knight.
Mm-hmm.
But in that case, apparently we still have knight takes d5, which is ridiculous. Um, I mean, I don't even
Yeah.
fully understand this tactic.
It's
Let's
like one
see.
of those good moves that you can just play regardless, like whatever black does.
Yeah. And the cool thing about taking on d5 is that it opens up our bishop opposite the rook on a8.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of like the Catalan bishop, right? It's always there. The pressure is constant, and a move like knight takes d5 just opens up these lines.
Yeah,
And yeah, like you said, we have the rook c8, just defending the knight still.
yeah, top move from black, but now it's the moment of truth. Can we see FA play the brilliant knight sacrifice, knight takes d5?
I'm sure he will find it.
I'm sure he's been frothing at the mouth at playing this tactic ever
Yeah,
since putting the rook on c1. Yeah, there it is. Beautiful move.
yeah, and it's obviously if your name is comprised of Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru Nakamura, then you're gonna find these moves, just based off your based off your chess.com ID.
Yeah, and his real name is Fa, which is, if you speak Spanish, it sounds like Jefe, which is the boss. So Turkey, they've got
Oh,
the captain and they've got the boss.
yeah, the essay and the boss.
Okay. I gotta work on my Spanish skills though still. So okay, now there's an option. We want to take on c5, but we have to decide which way to take with the bishop or with the rook. Rook
Mm-hmm.
takes is a more accurate move. Also putting pressure on this d5 pawn, which is isolated.
Yeah,
And yeah, white's just happily up a pawn, and at some point I think rook e1 to push the e pawn. Um,
yeah,
that's, or we could play bishop f3, or we could just take on d5. Maybe queen
yeah. We
takes.
still need to get out of that pin that you said, that prevents us from pushing the e pawn. So, like you said, rook e1 seems a really natural move from this point onwards, and especially we're just mirroring our Indian friend across the board.
I think, yeah, the problem with rook e1 is it allows for this annoying bishop c3 move. So we do see bishop f3 first, just keeping an eye on
Mm-hmm.
the e pawn, but I think also just trading d5 is totally acceptable as well. But I think white's point is that my e pawn's going nowhere. Your d pawn is going to remain a liability. So I'm gonna settle
Yeah,
my defenses first, and then target your d pawn later.
right. Yeah. How are the other boards doing?
That's a great question. I have to bring our attention to Turkey's top board, who has barely spent not even 30 seconds on their clock,
Damn.
and their opponent is already under a minute. So, yeah, a fantastic position here for the top board, Yusuf.
Yeah, yeah. I'm seeing the bishop pair. I'm seeing the central pawns. It's looking really good for our Turkish player Yusuf Eren Kavri.
Yeah, and Yusuf, that's also just a great name. It reminds me of my own name a little bit.
Yeah, with some Turkish slash Middle Eastern influences.
Yeah,
All right, I
it's
think we're gonna bully away the queen here. I think, but which rook do we choose?
that's actually I thought it'd be nuts. Yeah, this is very interesting to me. I would have played the rook from
Yeah,
F to E1, but the computer
exactly.
much preferred rook A to E1, interestingly, because
Hmm.
I figured we'd like to keep our rooks sort of on the queen side and maybe push
Yeah.
this A pawn up the board. But yeah, these players are proving why they're the players and not the commentators.
Yeah. Well, the A4 still happened, so I think maybe Mate is just keeping it flexible. I mean, the rooks are still connected, and there might still be like maybe an F pawn push going on, or maybe some doubling of the rooks. You'd much rather have them doubled up on the E file rather than the A. I think.
Yeah, A5 here, just putting a halt to that A pawn push, and
Yeah.
now we have F3. So maybe looking for bishop to E4. But I don't think that bishop wants to move just yet because the C pawn could be hanging.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's kind of difficult to kind of get out of this doubled pawn triangle thing going on at like c3, c4, and d4. But I think we could also just oh yeah, I was just thinking of just pushing c5 and kind of get rid of the pawns there, kind of open up the king there. But then we saw bishop a6. What does this mean, Joe? What does bishop a6 mean?
They're attacking our lowly C4 pawn, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Um, Also, we do have a result. Soham was able to win their game, so they tie up the match at 2.5 points each. And we do
right.
have another result. It's Magakaru now. FA getting their first point on the board, so regaining the lead for Turkey. That gives us 2 games left here in this first half of the match. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, Yusuf, lots of time here, and he's just ignoring the C pawn, just trying to trade these rooks and contest the E file. Now, Black can't just snag this pawn because, well, their queen is going to be overloaded, cannot defend the bishop
Yeah,
and the rook at the same time. Now, if Black trades rooks first, queen takes, you still can't take on c4 because if bishop takes, queen takes, you're dropping your back rank check and then knight along with it with queen to e8. So a really active defense here from white, but Black is not done yet. d5, just making sure that there's ample pressure on the c4 pawn. It is also pinned now because after
yeah,
queen takes on e1, the bishop on d3 is hanging. So really nice moves here from the legends to keep the match close.
yeah, exactly. That's Akashat Sinha doing a really good job at it. And it's just when you see a weakness like that, you kind of want all your pieces facing that weakness. And I think that's exactly what's happening here.
I got to take us to Chamil's game here. Chamil down to
Yeah,
five
let's do it.
seconds, and he's not looking good. He's down 2 pawns as well.
Oh no. Yeah, it's gonna be tricky here.
En passant, check, king back, and now, yeah, white's pushing their
Oh,
pass pawn.
yeah.
King is stepping up, and now, yeah, black has to guard that check because the king will be forced backwards. Now king has to go to h7. F pawn gets involved now.
And Jamil is kind of in time trouble as well here, so it's gonna be tough defense from here.
Yep, Chamil trying to hold here for the team, but
Yeah.
2 seconds. Yeah, they're throwing away their last pawn. Maybe there's a stalemate trick. Okay, now rook to
Mm,
g7 and resigns. Okay, I think they should
yeah.
have tried to stalemate, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So Carito from India actually is now 2 for 2, tying the match up. And now it all comes down to this last game of round 2, Yusuf versus the Legends. And Yusuf had a huge time advantage. The Legends has
Yeah.
been playing with less than a minute on their clock for quite some time, but they've been playing accurately, and they were able to get that pawn back and neutralize White's advantage. But White is still pressing and up on time. So let's see if Yusuf can try and push and convert this.
Yeah, and we're seeing like a really nice queen bishop battery here, just eyeing that c7 square, and just as I say that, the queen just moves away, threatening the knight there. But I think overall, it's kind of like what you said earlier. We're gonna have to tax the black queen a bit here, and throw a bunch of problems at black until black can't defend everything.
Yeah, I mean, White is absolutely doing a phenomenal job here, just winning
Yeah.
material now. That queen f6 move attacking the knight, removing the defender on g6, and White's bishops, the bishop pair. I mean, look at c7. How do you
Yes. Yes.
defend?
Yeah, and this is a picture perfect
Queen
game to
c6.
show why why the bishop pair is so strong.
Yeah, bishop d7, and the queen is practically trapped. Oh, he didn't
Yeah.
go for it. He's going after the knight now. The knight on the back rank, knight on the rim is grim, and that knight is going to be snagged
Yeah.
off the board. Also, c7 is just hanging, just queen takes. Oh,
We're not
bishop c8
seeing
was a
a resign
nasty
yet,
move.
but
We're going to see a flag. Yeah, they have no moves. So Yusuf coming up big, making sure that his team maintains that 1
yeah,
point lead going into second half.
really well played. I really enjoyed this last bit of this game.
Yeah, and also just like using the time when they needed it. The Legends, as you said, Akshath from India was very low on time, and they were holding for as long as they possibly could, but the time pressure became too great, and unfortunately for them, Yusuf was able to push through and win and maintain that 1 point lead. So St. Xavier's, they've got 2 rounds left trying to still answer back from that first round 1 point deficit. Plenty of chess
Hmm.
left, up to 8 games. Unless Bilkent could technically sweep this round and win the match with a round to
Yeah.
spare, but probably unlikely how things have been going. That last match was tied 2-2, and maybe that's the momentum St. Xavier's needs to overcome that 1 point deficit.
Yeah, and we're seeing another Joe Baver on the board, and it's with an h4 push. Um, I think this is exactly what you want to see as a London player, but it's halted with h5. Doesn't matter. It's gonna make us knight get like a really nice outpost on g5, and in many of these like modern hyper modern openings like Alekines or Perk or whatever, you kind of have the issue of the, oh, it's going to the other side, Joe. It's e5 here, but I guess that's the theme of the Jobava, that you kind of want to get the knight up there. But as I was saying, the g5 square is like a really annoying one, and most of these hypermodern openings kind of have h6 to negate that.
Also, I want to give a shout out to Speed Chess, a fellow Turkish streamer who
Yeah,
is probably
shout out
rooting
speed
for
chess.
Bilkent. So good to see Speed Chess in the chat. Shout out to Speed Chess. Definitely go check him out. Um, Probably rooting on his fellow Turkish team, who right now has a 1 point lead in round 3. But still plenty of chess left. I mean, Soham back to the London, and it worked well in round 2 for their win, and they're still trying to keep the match close here for India. So let's take a look at maybe back to Yusuf, who's playing against Carrito. And Carrito and Yusuf are the only two players that haven't lost or drawn yet. They're both a perfect 2 for 2. So this is a really big matchup.
Yeah, and from what I can tell in the opening, they got the bishops looking at each other. Um, you know, I'm seeing like a huge pawn storm happening on the queen side. Um, I think Kirito has the rooks seeing each other. That's really healthy in this position. I don't know what the correct move should be from White's perspective here, but we could try some stuff. At the king side maybe get our knight in there.
Yeah, knight e5 is definitely a move, just targeting the C pawn, maybe getting a trade. But white, as you put it, definitely has a lead in development, definitely a huge space advantage with all these
Yeah.
pawns, rooks connected. So they just bring the queen back to e2. Doesn't necessarily want to be opposite this bishop now that tucked back on a8. It was hanging on b7. So we see Yusuf putting the
Mm-hmm.
bishop on a protected square and potentially even lining up some discoveries, trying to
Yeah.
counteract this big pawn center for white. So queen steps back to e2. It's sort of a passive defensive move for the time being, but black is pretty cramped here. They have nothing
Yeah.
on the 5th rank, and lots of room for white means less space for black. So probably knight f6 is just one of the few moves that black can make and try
Mm-hmm.
to help control the center. And okay, we see a lashing out move here, g5. This sometimes feels like a desperate move and a weakening move for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So Yusuf maybe not comfortable in this position. That being said, this bishop on f4 is taking up so much real estate in black's half the board. So kicking that bishop back definitely might be worth it, but maybe some long-term issues that black's going to have because of this.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're just putting our pieces back on the first rank here. Um, very very Fisher random of them. But yeah, what I was thinking about was the hook on h6, right? Like that was kind of like a weakness, and you're kind of it feels really counterintuitive to do the g5 push, um, which most newer players are kind of scared of moving the king pawns, But in this situation, I think it's an okay move, preventing any kind of like sacrifices on h6, I'd say. But like you said, they're kind of struggling for space, the black side here. And yeah, knight e5 is happening, so that knight is going to be a pain for our Turkish friend here.
Yeah, and that night you either have to take it and invite a pawn to take up residence in your half of the board, or you have to work around the knight. So black decides not to take for the time being. Meanwhile, white here, the best move the computer is calling for c5. This is just clamping down on this
Mm-hmm.
c6 pawn for black. And if that c6 pawn never moves, the bishop on a8 is going to be staring at that
Yes.
pawn, which is very annoying. So white had a couple opportunities to play c5, hasn't done it yet. So I'm curious to see if Carrito will go for this.
Yeah, and the thing with I was talking about modern openings, right? The thing with modern openings as well is that yes, you give white the center space. You give in this case you give white a lot of space on the queen side, which means you have less space, but that just means that your moves have to be that much more with intent, and you kind of are actually fighting for squares as well with your pieces. Like we have a bishop on a8, which is, yeah, like you said, is now blocked by our own pawn on c6. So we kind of have to reshuffle our pieces on the back rank a bit again to get some use out of them.
Okay, we see the bishop taking and now taking on c5. And honestly, when I saw c5 as an option. I didn't even calculate that this was possible. So it looks like
Mm-hmm.
black is actually winning a pawn um, just by taking the knight on e5, distracting the d pawn, and now taking
Yeah.
on c5, which is attacked 3 times and it was only defended once.
Yeah.
So somehow the computer says there's really good compensation here, and
Yeah.
the top move here is queen to h5, and this is kind of, as you were talking about, the weakness on h6, just completely ignoring the pawn deficit and just being able to trade off black's fianchetto bishop is such a huge win,
Yeah.
because white still has the bishop pair. But it looks like Carrito wasn't able to find that follow up. They just take on c5, and
Yeah.
black can now trade.
And you could even play something as cheeky as rook takes knight there, as white just sacrifice the exchange there. But that's just crazy talk. Yeah, we got rook d6 here. And this is kind of like I'll trade on my terms move. Um, Knight a4. What does that mean, Joe? What's that?
They
Knight on the rim is dim.
They're taking the bishop on b2, because as we talked about, the fianchetto bishop is so powerful. But yeah, Carrito's idea was that if black tried to take on d6 with another pawn, their bishop will become a monster on the long
Mm-hmm.
diagonal. So black addresses that immediately with knight a4 and just targets this bishop. But now
Yeah.
white can double their rooks on the d file, just let black take, because now the queen will take and take over that spot. We got some other games though. I want to take us to let's see how Shamil's doing against Akshath. Both boards 3 and 4 from India have not gotten a single point yet. So they were having some trouble against the top 2 boards from
Yeah.
Bilkent, but now in the second half of the match, they'll play the lower boards from Bilkent. So this is really their opportunity to get some points on the board, and it looks like we've got a huge tactic here.
Oh, yeah, I saw the I saw the eval bar
Let's
drop.
see if he finds the Gotham chess move.
Yeah, the rook.
Can he sag? He's got 30 seconds. The idea is that the pawn on f2 is overloaded. It can't defend both g3 and the bishop on e3. My guess is that they're worried about rook takes. There's maybe rook g4.
Yeah, like an intermediate move, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Rook g4 is played now. Queen
Ah,
f5. Maybe there was queen c2 after rook takes e3. Yeah, wow. Big opportunity missed there from Akshath. Missing the opportunity to take on e3. Instead, they just lift the rook. They probably were thinking about it, but they might have missed like queen c2.
yeah. And yeah, from now on, I think Black should just double the rooks real quick, and then just like you said, go on for that f2 weakness.
Yeah, so we see queen to f5. I'm wondering if we can play something like bishop d4 and just try to target the g7 pawn. Maybe then there's bishop to e5. No, just f6. I mean, we've seen Akshath get these like decent positions, but they're seemingly low on time, and
Yeah,
it's costing them. So they're missing these opportunities.
yeah. I mean, there's also a little bit of a rating differential here, but that kind of cuts into your time, I guess, because you have to think a little bit longer about certain moves.
Yusuf getting a huge point for Turkey, taking down the only undefeated player from St. Xavier's, and
Oh,
now
nice.
Yusuf is 3 out of 3 a fantastic board 1 results for the team Bilkent University. They seem to be crushing. And now I'm looking at Soham, who is completely crushing on his board with a tactic rook takes g7. That's not easy to find. There's
Oh
also
wow.
g6. Okay, he says it is easy to find. He takes, and yeah, the Turkish player, he takes on h2, but he loses his rook on g8. So white is completely winning up a bishop here.
Yeah, don't you just love it when you get disproven the instant
Oh,
you say the
jeez.
moves?
Yeah, resigns there. So Soham keeping things close, and also the board 4 from India getting a point. So
Oh
India
wow.
answering right back. They're tied the match, and now it's all down to Chamil. Can he close this one out? It looks like he can. It's forced mate and 2.2 seconds. He's giving up a rook and now resigns. So Turkey, dude, you can't tie it up
Nice.
because Turkey just answers right back. So the board 4 is getting big wins for both teams, and there's only one round remaining unless we see overtime. But Bilkent, they're up 6.5 to 5.5. They only need 2 points to close this one out. Can they do it? I'm gonna start a prediction, you guys.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, overall, just really great performance from Bilkent University, and yeah, like you said, they're you know it's in their names. One is a boss, one is a captain, and one has you know the Turkish equivalent of Joe. So they're you know they're just rocking it, man.
Yeah, Turkey's looking great, but it's not about how you start; it's about how you finish.
Exactly, and they're going for another fianchetto again. So not a London this time from Magakaru.
All right, any gamblers in the chat? I'll give it 2 minutes. Although I hear that you're not allowed to gamble prediction points in the Netherlands.
Yeah, that's something, you know, in a country where most things that are deemed illegal are legal. Gambling channel points is where they kind of draw the line.
Yes, you know, you got to keep these kids safe.
Exactly. Well, there goes the Catalan bishop. The queens are looking at each other, and you know they haven't preferred to exchange them yet.
Yeah,
Um,
they're sort of in this Mexican standoff here
yeah.
because if you take my queen, my rook takes back for both sides. So they're just gonna
Hmm.
be hanging out for now. And okay, black, they say I've got these double isolated c pawns. Might as well throw one away and give
Yeah.
you an isolated c pawn. So white takes, and now e6 comes with the bishop opening up. We see knight to c4. Black's ready to castle. And yeah, I mean, so far so good for both these players. What do you think is going to be a key matchup in this round?
I think the top board still, but I think, like you said before, the board 4 has been doing really great. So I'm really curious as how they're doing.
Yeah, I just took a look here at Yusuf versus Soham. These are the top 2 boards and also the top 2 point getters from both sides. In fact, neither player has lost a game yet. Soham only getting
Hmm.
a draw in round 1 against Chamil, which
Yeah.
still to this point has been the difference maker. So Chamil could be the hero for the Turkish team, the board 4, who has 1.5 points right now. Um, and yeah,
Yeah.
Chamil's playing against Ujan from St. Xavier's. Both players just coming off of a win in that previous match, but I'm really liking white Ujan here because they've already castled and their queen is preventing black from castling. But the computer disagrees with me and says that this is totally
Hmm.
fine, if not preferable, for black.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the computer is, 4,000 times smarter than I am. So, what I was going to talk about the previous board is that we finally actually got like a close position, seemingly for the first time, which is really, rare to see these days, I guess. And these positions, it's not that much about like tactics and flashy stuff, but it's more so of just rearranging your pieces. The bishops kind of um, lose their value in a close game because they're just staring at pawns, and that's why kind of knights are superior because they can kind of hop over the pawns, like they say. So I think this is like a really interesting position here, and looks like black is going for like queen a5, maybe just trying to get like a pawn storm on the queen side there. What do you think about these close positions, Joe?
Well, I was going to say I liked White's move G5, and that really is
Mm-hmm.
just sort of targeting and isolating the H pawn. So I have a feeling White is going to be able to muster up some sort of attack on the king side where the black king is because of this interesting H pawn all the way on H4. Um, that being said, the computer was actually liking Soham's position. The move apparently was
Mm-hmm.
just c takes on d5, and you'd been mentioning how the position is very closed. Well, black could try and open things up by just making a trade in the center, but instead Soham played queen to a5, and now it's giving advantage back to white. So I'm curious to
Yeah,
see. It doesn't look like the white king is going to be happy castling either direction, honestly. So maybe it's just staying in the middle of the
yeah,
board for now. Um,
yeah,
but also, this is Soham with the black pieces. We've seen him play the Jobava London with white both times, but now it's the Turkish board one with white. So that could also be a significant factor in this game.
yeah. And like you said, the white king is uncastled. Well, pro tip for all the chess players in the chat: when it's a close position, you're relatively safer. Uh, in contrast to an open position where pieces can move freely. So castling is not that big of a deal, and sometimes you kind of mess up your pawn structure on the king side and mess up your pawn structure on the queen side, and then usually just moving your king up one square with get it more involved, I guess, which is yeah, which is what Yusuf is doing right now. Um, so you don't necessarily need to castle. Just get it in a nice position. I think he's kind of going for, like you said, there's some weakness there on the G and H files. Get the rook on G1, get the A1 rook involved, and we're gonna be seeing some explosive stuff happening from this rather calm close position.
Yeah, and this calm closed position can blast open here with black's top moves, just moving the f pawn anywhere, f6 or f5.
Yeah,
You're guaranteed to open the f file because white just
yeah,
put that uncastled king on f2, and we see Soham going directly straight to the point. The best
yeah,
move for white earlier was actually just playing rook hg1, which I thought
yeah,
just blunders the h pawn in one move. But then the rook just goes straight back and says, "Thanks for opening the h file. I'm going to get that
yeah,
h4 pawn back and attack you." So instead, we do see f5. We actually see en passant, and now the second rook comes over. So both sides, they're just attacking each other on the king side. They don't
yeah,
know who's better, but the computer gives a slight edge to black.
yeah. And I think in this scenario, you kind of can go for um, bishop G5 stuff as white, and then kind of just exchange it either for the knight or just take the H pawn. And yeah, like you said, you don't really care much for those pawns, like the computer demonstrated. You just want the open files, either just double them on the G file, or just keep them like this. And yeah, like I said, the move is appearing on the board. Yeah, we just want to blast open the king side.
I know, I'm so confused why the computer likes black because it looks like white's just winning this H pawn, but apparently there's
Mm-hmm.
compensation. Once knight H5 and that knight's gonna land in on F4 maybe, or we're just opening up the F file for the rooks. Maybe black will double on the F file. But before we get too lost in this game, I do want to get some quick updates. Board
Yeah.
fours, they're in a rook and pawn endgame. It's looking pretty drawn, but white has double isolated F pawns. So maybe black is going to push for something, but in all seriousness, this should be a draw. And a reminder, Turkey only needs 2 points to win this match out. So
Mm-hmm.
a draw, any draw, like Turkey could draw their way to victory. So
Yeah.
India is the one that's down a point. They need to find wins on some of the
The
boards.
onus is on them. And here, yeah, we'll just see what Magakaru is up to. Yeah, looks like the bishop is threatened here, and then it just also sees the rook behind it. Um, there's also a really cheeky fork threat going on knight c7, but we're not going to see that happening because the king is just defending that square. Um, yeah, from here on, if we're gonna look at progress, that d5 pawn for black is just gonna push its way to victory. I think we just need to put a stop to that, and that's why our king is kind of moving towards the center now.
Yeah, this game also is looking very even in material. Um, but it is a bishop versus a knight, and white does have the outside pass pawn, but I like black's rook better than white's rook. White's rook just poking at
Mm-hmm.
this d5 pawn, but the black rook looks like
Yeah.
it can come in either to the second rank or target the a pawn. So Carito might be able to stir up some trouble, but it's not going to be easy. White's attacking the bishop now. Um, and yeah, Carito's also less than 30 seconds on the clock. But I haven't looked at, actually, the board for it I haven't looked at is, it looks like Chamil is crushing with the black piece. He's got doubled rooks on the second. He's
Oh
gobbling up
wow. Yeah.
everything. There's got to be a forced mate somewhere. Rook c2 check, king b1, and then there was knight c3. No, oh, the knight was pinned, so that's why we see king to
The
e7.
knight is pinned. Yeah.
This could
But
be
now
huge.
not anymore.
Yeah, now there's a check. Maybe king f6, attacking the rook. Because if rook g6 check, you're blocking that bishop. That bishop's a key defender of c2.
Yeah.
We do see now there's no more checks. Yeah, rook comes back, but now knight
You
c3.
eventually run out of checks indeed.
And he's got less than 5 seconds to defend. So India is going to be literally with their backs against the wall. If Chamil can close this one out and win, that brings Bilkent very close to 1 point. So rook a1 is the big threat. Bishop
Oh
comes
wow.
back. Again, I think just rook a1.
Yeah, still rook a1, exactly.
Rook a1. Oh, we didn't go for it. There's one check, but the king goes down. Just knight c3, rook c3.
Now it's gonna come down to the wire, I think.
One
Is
check. Now the knight
Ujan
check.
gonna
He has to give up
muster
the
up a
exchange
defense
here.
here? Yeah.
Shamil doubling again. These rooks are so powerful. 2 second, 1
Yeah.
second. But okay, this
Oh,
bishop on b1 is annoying.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, rook a1 was the move, but we still have doubled rooks on the seventh or in the second rank here for black, and that's gonna prove a
Oh,
problem
and this
for
is
white.
this is gonna win that bishop. We could see resigns or flags. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chamil, a huge result for the board
GG's.
four. He brings his team 1 point away from victory. So any win or 2 draws I'm going back to the top boards. Oh,
Yeah,
both
let's
players
take a
less
look
than
at it.
10 seconds. Absolute scramble. They trade a pair of rooks. It's looking fairly even. Black has the bishop pair.
Yeah, and it looks like that white has a dark squared bishop, which is pretty good because it just can fly across the board because our pawns are on the light squares.
Blunder. Bishop to e3 was
Ooh.
missed. That rook is trapped on b6, but we see g5 trapping Black's own bishop.
Oh no, it's just going so back and forth in this time scramble.
I think bishop f2, trying to get to b6.
Oh wow.
We have another result. The match is officially over because FA Magakaru gets a huge win, and that's
Nice.
it. So Bilkent University, they are the Division 3 champions.
Yeah, great. Well, congratulations to Bilkent University. But you know, St. Xavier's has done a great job. We've seen the games; they played really well. Really exciting chess from both these two universities.
Yeah, I think Chamil, the board four for Bilkent, was really the hero of the team, getting that initial 1 point lead. Um, from round one, getting a draw against Soham.
Yeah,
And yeah, they just never looked back. So
sometimes that's all it needs, you know, just to catch that momentum, and it really worked out in the Bilkent University's favor here.
I think Yusuf might win this one too, but it's opposite color bishops. He does have 2 pawns against 0, which
Mm-hmm.
is always nice, but it's hard to get past this h7 light square is the problem.
Yeah,
But he's got
yeah.
2 pawns. So
Yeah, and I think the idea here is to just push one pawn and push the other as well, and you can't possibly defend both. Should be the game plan here, and which is exactly what is happening
oh,
now.
yeah, the defense is so
Oh yeah,
hard.
yeah, yeah, and they're just two pawns just pushing simultaneously. If you take one, the other one queens, and if you take the other one queens. So it's really rough. The king has to hold one pawn, and the bishop has to hold the other pawn. But the pawn that's held by the bishop, that's obviously a sacrificial bishop, right? Because you have to exchange the bishop for the pawn, and that would be the game plan here if you were white.
I think the key is that he's got the right color bishop covering the h8 square.
Yeah.
Okay, Yusuf is taking his sweet time to push the e-pawn. I don't think he's quite figured it out, but I think he just plays king to c7. Okay, he's pushing now.
Yeah.
Um, Okay, king f7. It's not. Oh wait, he just drops his e-pawn. Oh, but then he pushes his h-pawn. Wow.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
allowing the bishop to check him. So yeah, he's getting here. Now the bishop's covering, but now he can just queen. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
And now he can flush the king out of the corner. Oh, I thought just king f8. Okay, now king f8. There he goes. Okay.
Now he has to be really careful of
No, he's
stalemating.
chilling. He's chilling. Yeah. Wow. I mean, we also had Captain get a win and Yusuf getting a win. Yusuf with the
Great.
perfect 4-zip sweep. And Bilkent ends on a perfect, flawless note, actually. I think all 4 of their boards won in round 4. So it wasn't even close in the end. Wait, actually, I missed one game. Hold on. No, that's right. Every single player won. Who did I miss? Was it Hefe?
Yeah, I think
FA, I mean.
yeah.
Okay, so that's the final score is 11.5 to 5.5.
Yeah.
Bilkent University, they win, and they should also be winning some cash prizes. Um, Maybe I can double check how much they won for first place in Division 3. There was some money on the line there. So the Collegiate Chess League is completely free to join, but you can also win cash prizes. So first place for Division 3 is 1,500 USD, some big ones there. So that's not bad for a free tournament.
Exactly. And when you're studying at uni, you kind of need that type of money for all that instant ramen.
That's a lot of instant ramen.
Yeah.
So congratulations again. I want to ask maybe if we can get a player interview. So maybe we'll take a break. But otherwise, thanks everyone for watching, and I will be covering another match after this. But yeah, Eskiya, how was it today? Were you nervous for the Turkish team, or did you have confidence that they would perform like they did
Yeah.
today?
I had full confidence in my Turkish friends here. It was dicey at some points, but they really pulled it back. And well, the score says it all, really. But yeah, in general, I'm really excited to be casting with you. It's my debut in chess casting actually, so it's an honor to do that with you. And
The, your
yeah, everyone
debut,
from the
and
chat was there as well.
I mean, you're an absolute professional and a natural, and I'm sure this will be the first of many. You're gonna have your inbox blown up by
Yeah.
requests of everyone's like, "Oh my God, Eskiya was so good. We have to have him
Yeah.
commentate more." So, um, yeah, let me see if we can find someone that will interview. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. So thanks everyone. Bear with us,
Yeah.
and
Stay tuned for the
yeah,
interviews.
we'll see you. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We unfortunately will not be having a player interview as they all just left and they're celebrating. So we
Yeah.
wanted to say our farewells. Congrats again to Bilkent University on winning their Division III championship, which is their first time joining the CCL and their first times as champions. So hopefully we'll have more Turkish schools join. And Eskiya, your final thoughts.
Yeah, it was really fun casting this alongside with you. And it was a Turkish university. So, of course, I'm the appointed person to have you cast this alongside, And yeah, this has been great. Great games. Really excited that I got to cast this with you. Yeah, this has been Eskia. Just follow me on Twitch, I guess. Um, and yeah, thanks for everyone being here. I'll see you guys around.
All right, and I think I will be continuing with another match that's starting in maybe like 20 minutes or so.
Yeah,
So if you want to send a raid, Eskia, you can find someone, but otherwise I'll be hanging around.
yeah. I'll just rate someone, or I'll just rate it back to you, and I'll see you guys around. Have fun
Cool.
with the cast. Yeah, the next cast.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and I will be back on to talk a little bit to prepare for this next match and maybe go over some of the details of who's playing and all that, what
Yeah,
division and the prizes. But thank you so much, Askia. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honor. You were fantastic, absolute natural and
thanks.
a pro, and definitely a good luck charm for the Turkish team.
Oh, you. I'll see you guys around.
All
Peace.
right, take care. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Division Three finals between Bilkent University and St. Xavier's College in Kolkata. We saw a sweep in round 4 from Bilkent. They won the match 11.5 to 5.5. A very dominant performance there at the end. It was close, only 1 point difference through 3 rounds, but Bilkent really shone through at the end and proved that they are the Division 3 champions. So, congratulations again to them. Thank you everyone for watching. I will have another match that, like I said, it's starting in about 20 minutes. So if you want to stick around, you're more than welcome to. But I will take a quick break before we get to that, and I will be back soon. Otherwise, if you're heading out, thanks again for watching, and stick around for, I believe, Eskia will send you guys off on a raid. So, all right, I will be back after this break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We just watched the Division 3 finals between Bilkent University and St. Xavier's College in Kolkata, with Bilkent winning by a large score 11.5 to 5.5, finishing their season with a 4-0 sweep in round 4 to seal the deal and win the championship in their first ever season. So, congratulations to them. I will be watching another match, which should be starting in about 10 minutes. So please bear with me. We've got some time before the next match starts. It's going to be a Division 9 finals match between Macedonia and Brawijaya C, which I believe is in Indonesia. Macedonia, I believe, is in Greece. So we will be having the match starting soon. We've got Billy the Kid asking me, is there anywhere I can see who is playing? That's a great question. So most of the matches are pretty much done, but there are a few matches that have been rescheduled. We can see most of the matches are linked here. This is the Play Versus website. That's the operating partner for the Collegiate Chess League. That link I shared is Divisions 4+. So Divisions 1 through 3 have already wrapped up. Division 1 finished yesterday, which we watched on broadcast. So if you want to go back and watch that, you can. That was between UT Dallas and St. Louis University, with SLU winning a very narrow margin, 8.5 to 7.5, defending their championship title. And then today we watched the Division 3 finals between Bilkent and St. Xavier's College in Kolkata. So there is a match that should be starting in about 10 minutes. That is going to be between Macedonia and Brawijaya. I'm just waiting for the players to check in and begin their games. So yeah, it's apparently going to be in less than 10 minutes. So please bear with me here. I do have a scoreboard that I should be updating. It looks like Brawijaya only has 4 players on their team, so I'm just going to assume that they're going to be playing. It's probably a safe assumption. But yeah, Division 9, I can look up the score or the prizes that are on the line. So here, both teams are guaranteed at least $200, and first place gets an extra $100. So Division 9, $300 for first place, $200 for second. So they are playing for a little bit of cash prizes here. And the team average seems to be just below 2,000. So let me take a look at the Brawijaya team and see. It's their C team. So it does look like they only have 4 players. So I'm going to add them to our scoreboard. And that will be the last match for today that I am watching, at least. So yeah, if you guys are playing in the Collegiate Chess League, let me know how your team did. Let me know if you played today. And if you're not in the Collegiate Chess League, let me know if you're rooting for anyone. The team captain of Macedonia that reached out to me, letting me know that they were playing today, he said that they're also playing over the board. So I don't know if the captain will be actually on the team today. It looks like they do have potential substitute players that could be competing. And yeah, they put their names in all caps. So that's always fun. What's up, Klein Bottle? How are you? How are you doing on this fine Sunday? I'm still waiting for the players to check in, so whenever they finish that. Okay, looks like Brawijaya is there. Macedonia. I hope their captain is available to help them out, because they might need help checking in. Hmm. This is the Collegiate Chess League. Yes. I'm trying to help this team from Greece check in because I think their captain is playing over the board. So their opponents are currently waiting. And I'm trying to figure out who the 4 players are. This is from Team Macedonia, Team A in Division 9 finals. Looks like they had their match rescheduled against Brawijaya, which I believe is from Indonesia. Also, I gotta pay out this prediction that I started. Let's see. There were no bets, so it doesn't matter. Easy. All right, so I've gotten a hold of one of the players. And says that they need 2 minutes from one of their players. So luckily 2 minutes is when the match should be starting anyways. So they seem to have perfectly timed it, which is pretty good. Although I will say the platform allows for you to check in up to 15 minutes late, which is convenient if you're running a little late. That being said, if you're late by 15 minutes, then you will forfeit the match. So it's important to be on time. All right, and I hear from the captain they're ready. So let me see if they've submitted their players yet. So once they give me the names and then they start their games, we can watch. So I'm excited. Okay, so they've added the players. Hello, I like chess too. I also like chess. Okay. Okay. I have all their usernames. Let me see if I can follow them. And here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Division 9 finals here between Macedonia and JoeBruin from Indonesia. And it looks like we've got round 1 underway. I'm seeing at least 3 of the games, so let's see who's we got Zosefina at 2016. Looks to be one of the stronger players from Greece. So it looks like most of these players are around 1900. 1862. Too Wet Pablo. So that is not a player listed on the scoreboard. So I'll have to figure out. I got to do some detective work here. Let's see. This is a player from their D team actually. So they're pulling up a sub. Okay. And who else do we have? Part poll. Part poll is Vasilios Polizos playing up against Samuel Keanu. And I want to keep an eye out for their 4th game. Looks like we have Lazarus Prime versus Gara. Gara is Junita Elia Farak. And so it's either Rito or Putra who are missing from Brawijaya. So I'll put it looks like Gary, not Escobar. Too Wet Pablo. Gary Michael Suryanto is subbing in today for Brawijaya Team C. So yeah, this is the Division 9 finals. $300 cash prizes on the line. I'm still waiting for this 4th board. Let me see if I can find them. Okay. So it looks like it's going to be Rito in instead of Putra. Why do I prefer 5-0 instead of 3-2? That's a good question. I like the time scrambles, I guess. The increment, I don't know. The game can draw on a little bit longer. Also, 3 minutes is just less than 5 minutes, so who knows? Maybe I'd be better at 3-2. Maybe I could try it. Maybe I can't even answer. So yeah, just a personal preference. Let's see if I can find this fourth game. No, it's still only 3 games, so someone's missing, but I'm not sure for which team. Oh, he goes by Bill. So I'll remember that. Okay, it's the opponent from Brawijaya is missing, apparently. Okay. I'm gonna double check this board order. Maybe I'll keep an eye on this top board here. So, okay, wow, black is completely crushing. Knight takes g3, pawn takes. Oh wait, bishop takes f7 now, and there's a discover double check, and that's just winning the exchange. Wow. Two wet Pablo, getting a nice tactic here. Black was completely crushing. So what did black need to do here? Black needed to play... Oh my god, bishop takes d4? That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. What else is there? Queen takes g3 is so logical. They take here, and now bishop takes f7. King steps up. Pawn takes. There, you can take on c3 with the discovery, for starters, which they do. So yeah, a little sloppy game here. Black can take back. Rook takes g8, and we're threatening to take on g3. Even taking on b2 is actually pretty interesting as well. Taking here first. Doubling up on the g file. So yeah, kind of a sloppy start here. Some tactics that were missed from both sides, it seems. Black was completely winning. Now here it's not easy. There's only one good move for white, actually. And it's knight h4. Not obvious at all, because queen takes is going to attack that knight. But queen takes is happening regardless. So this is going to be a very difficult position for whites to defend. Also down a minute on the clock. So it looks like Josefina is going to be starting things off strong here for the Greek team. So Josefina, this is going to be the top board actually for Macedonia. Macedonia is not Greek. Well, they have the Greek flags. So it's University of Macedonia. I thought they were Greek. So maybe it's the difference between Macedonia and the University of Macedonia. Okay, so yeah, knight h4 was missed. I mean, it's a hard defensive move here. Now we see rook up to g4. And what's the threat? I feel like we're trying to bring our knight in to distract this knight on f3 so that we can play rook to h4 check. Let's see, part pole here, also in a time scramble, 15 seconds on their clock. Rook takes a pawn. Bishop gets on the long diagonal, offers a rook trade, attacks the rook. So we do see the rook trade. This pawn's now defended twice. Yeah, 2 minutes is a lot of time here. Okay, yeah, Josefina gets their win. So top board from Macedonia. I'm close to 2,500. I'm not even aiming at 2,500. This is a hanging rook for the record. Now this pawn is pinned to defending the bishop, which is tough. Bishop here maybe is a move. Whoa, pawn push, and that's allowing for the bishop to open up, but we're attacking this pawn as well, potentially, with check. Okay, and this check will pick up the b pawn, which is very valuable. It was 1 square away from promoting. And let me put part pole is board 2. We've got, I think macro is going to be board 4, and Lazarus prime is board 3. So yeah, this game looks like it's a draw. Black does have an isolated pawn, which could be a weakness. So we'll see if white pushes, but white has barely any time at all. This game has Lazarus prime, who looks to be doing well. Yeah, I saw your opponent's not joining. It's yeah, I mean, can you ask in the chat where your opponent is? But yeah, it's every 15 minutes you can mark it as a win, so you can claim a forfeit. So I'll go ahead and give you a point already. And we have 2 games remaining. So this game is absolutely just mad chaos back and forth. 3 seconds, 2 seconds for Lazarus. Okay, that's a problem. There's queen takes. Okay, rook takes here also strong because now pawn takes disconnects the queen's defense. And now rook takes wins the queen. So unfortunate for the Greek team. Lazarus prime loses to Gara 81. So I gotta move Gara. Or would Gara would be board 2, I assume. And this game is a draw by repetition. So part pole, this is the board 2 from Greece. They get a point against the board 3, Samuel. Oh, it's a half point, sorry. Okay. So Macedonia leading by 1 point, 2.5 to 1.5 after Brawijaya had a no-show from their top board, who I guess is Rito. Did Gara have a queen trapped earlier? Yeah, and that other game, this was winning for black, I'm pretty sure, earlier. Or maybe I'm crazy. Here, queen g5 check was really strong, which they played. Now they can take on h6, which they didn't do. Now they did it. This looks very strong. Oh, and we have games. So trade, and then at some point it messed up. Yeah. So unable to convert, and now we have round 2 underway. I keep trying to watch this game. Yeah, black messed up. Yeah, this was a big problem. Joe Cozy, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Okay, so now we've got I don't know how to say this. Pommy Magus? Pommy Mages? This is the team captain, the board 4, Macro. Andreas. Now playing up against Hunita. So I might have had the board order wrong. I'm not sure. I thought I had it, but maybe not. That's okay. All right. Now we've got Zosefina playing against Gara now. And we have Lazarus Prime playing against 2 Wet Pablo. And yeah, I guess Rito is missing for Brawijaya. So that is unfortunate. They're down a player. So all right. Well, hopefully they'll show up and we'll keep an eye out for them. But for the meantime, we can keep watching Macro here. 1899 versus 1999. Looks like we've got a C pawn that's hanging, so B3 holding on to this. Potentially weakening this diagonal. We got to make sure that we keep an eye out for this sniper bishop opposite the rook. Maybe the rook to C1 makes a lot of sense. Black might at some point. Looks like they're gearing up for a B5 pawn break, but white has a lot pointing at this B5 square. We see black just adding on. There's a lot of focus here, and maybe white will play a5, and so they're just clamping down on b6 on this b pawn for black. Potential for en passant, which is nice, but the problem with a5 is that pawn becomes weak and it's not really protected. So just leaving the structure as is seems totally fine. Here we see the bishop rerouting to the long diagonal. Now we could take this if we want, but black has a couple ways to take back, so we kick the knight back first and then take, and now this actually is a problem because we've just really helped black open up that rook. So taking was not the move. In fact, what it preferred was the move b4, and b4 we're just threatening b5, trapping the bishop outright. So no need to rush into taking this. we're really alleviating a lot of pressure on our opponent and helping them open up for their pieces. So that was sort of a misplay there from Keanu. But the game goes on, and it's still fairly equal. The computer's liking e5, and that's exactly what white goes for. So this is just opening up this bishop, targeting this weak c6 pawn. So a nice move here. Bishop takes c6, and that's a punch at the knight. So the knight doesn't really have that many great options because the bishop is keeping an eye on these squares. So I guess you want to go here, but the problem with going to f6 is that you're just dropping the e pawn actually. And yeah, we're going to see e takes f5. Black should have inserted e takes f4 intermezzo first with a tempo on the bishop on e3. So macro misses this and now has to move the knight again, looking at this pawn, trying to maybe come up with something here. But Keanu can simply just continue the attack of the knight, actually. G4, and it's, I guess, only one square for the knight to go is to G3. And the knight will land with a tempo there, fortunately, and also have an escape route. Actually, no, the pawn's covering that. So how is this knight not trapped? That is a great question. After G4, knight to G3. I was hoping we could just play... Yeah, Keanu's finding it. This is where it's very tricky. Rook f3 allows for a queen trade. And then I guess bishop takes, attacks the knight, and defends the knight. So, okay, finding bishop here first. And now, just bishop f2 it really likes. So black should have traded queens first, I believe, is what it's saying. So bishop f2 is a good move here. Okay, this was a missed opportunity, and now it favors black after this move. Queen d6. Oh, I see the fourth game. Wait, no, that's we've got another player from the first match that's playing. Okay. Yeah, well, Macedonia, they're just up. They're up a player. They're up a point. So, yeah, this match was rescheduled, which is always surprising when a player is missing because the captains have to agree to the reschedule, and the captains should be checking that all their players are available at that time. So, somewhat surprising, but hope all is well. Okay. Yeah, queen d6, great move here. Found just attacking the bishop. And this knight that looks trapped and was trapped is going to find a new home, or at least support from the queen and the bishop. So, yeah, and this was another opportunity missed here. Bishop takes c3 first was the move needed. And oh my, was bishop takes c3 a move? That's actually just a free piece because queen takes and the knight is landing a truly massive royal fork. So knight takes, and so now the queen is keeping an eye on e2. Yeah, missed opportunity there from macro. So a lot of back and forth here for sure. Knight back, and this is blundering the same tactic. Does macro miss it twice? The answer is no. And now white is like, oh my goodness, I done goofed. So you can play rook d1, but yeah, if bishop here, there's bishop block. So yeah, Strong move here from the captain. Not missing that opportunity twice. So the queen is hit. Queen's got to stick around to the defense of the knight. So probably queen c7 is a very healthy move. Queen steps up. But now I'm wondering, I guess here there's a check here. Oh, 92 still. Yeah, queen's governing that. Wow. Black is cooking. So now they can take beautiful maneuver here. So probably your best bet is to take here now, at least. Queen trade. Looks good enough for me. Black is up a knight. Yeah, just simplifying, trading down. Easy peasy. Rook trade offered. Love this move. Now this rook, or this knight, doesn't look like it has a lot of squares, but there's that e2 fork that we were looking at earlier. It's still available. But also, the knight can just be defended by a pawn. So, okay, we've got a time scramble here. Less than 10 seconds for the Indonesian board 4. And it looks like Lazarus Prime should be doing quite well here. Yeah, I have the board order still a problem. I gotta figure this out. I don't know. The pairings are confusing me for sure. Okay. We're gonna swap boards 2 and 3. So white is going to be promoting this b pawn unstoppable. So a nice win there. We see resignation from Lazarus Prime. So they get their first win of the match, building on to the Greek lead. We've got Keanu and Macro here, both less than 20 seconds. And yeah, Macro is just chilling up a knight. They're just going to be winning this. They traded a pair of rooks. White's only hope are these pass pawns, which they can take or they can push. But, I mean, black is just completely winning. And yeah, the king is coming back. This pawn is going to be impossible to defend. 1 second now. They're going to take on a6, drop the b pawn. So now their pass pawns are disconnected now. Knight's coming back, interestingly, and there's a flag. Okay, 1 game left in this one. So Macro gets their second point. And here we have a checkmate on the board with a pawn. So yeah, black was just completely winning. mopping up everything here. And they get a nice mate there. So, well done to, I guess that's Gara, huh? Yeah, so Gara keeping things maybe close. They're also at 2 points. But then who didn't play? I guess Bill. Parpol. So they get 1.5 points, I believe. So yeah, Macedonia might be running away with it here. Which is exciting. It's their first ever season competing in the Collegiate Chess League, and they've made it all the way to the Division 9 finals. I know they had a strong regular season, and now it looks like they're going to close things out here in the Division 9 finals. So yeah, but Gara is playing well for Indonesia. Only player that has wins so far, and they're a perfect 2 for 2 against the top 2 boards from Greece. So yeah, strong showing from them for sure. Yeah, every round it's a forfeit. So I mean, they could show up late and play, but it doesn't seem like they are. So unfortunate. You'd hope to see every player show up, but it's not always possible. So I believe it's 5.5 to 2.5 right now. Moving on to the third round. And yeah, Indonesia pretty much needs a miracle to come back. They're down 3 with 2 rounds to go. I mean, they're missing a player, so it's an unfortunate reality. But Macedonia, they're 3 points away from clinching the win, ending their season on as a champion. They could technically win it in this round. If they're only playing 3 games, they need 2 points out of the 3, which is very possible. And here we have 2 of the games starting. We have Zoe Zafina up against Keanu. And we've got Bill here up against Gary. And Bill's the rating favorite. He's got the white pieces. He's got the space advantage already in the center. So we'll see if Gary is able to get some points on the board for Brawijaya. They've lost both their games so far. And I'm still waiting on the third game to start here. So I do see, maybe we keep an eye on Zoe Zafina's game up against Keanu. And it looks like Keanu's done something wrong here. So Zofina already having castled. I mean, so far this opening looks pretty decent. And what's the problem? They should have played knight f3. And I realize the fear of h3. h3 is played to prevent the knight coming in. It looks like these squares are pretty soft. So if you play knight f3 and the opponent plays knight to g4, apparently all we have to do is queen e2, and we're fine, apparently. I don't know if I agree with that, but that's what the computer believes. So white just plays h3, and now it says that black is doing much better with the move d5, actually, which is actually surprising to me. So what's the point of d5? Let's say we take, and now it's, oh, that's the problem, is the queen is coming in. Oh wow, we have knight takes on e4, bishop takes, and now d5 is a fork. Okay. So Josefina playing some tactics here. So black's going to be able to take up this knight. Yeah, white will not be castling kingside. And we do have the third game here between the Greek captain, Macro, and Gara. Gara's won both games so far, but so has Macro. But Macro's only played one of them, to be fair. So we'll see. Both these players are proven winners. Both players around 1900, so fairly close in rating. Macro does have the white pieces. Bapolis in the chat. That sounds Greek for sure. Jukes are life. I think that's Macro, if I had to guess. I think that's the team captain that just started this game here. So that's what they're talking about, Bapolis, is that their player has arrived to play. So, but one of the players from Brawijaya is apparently a no-show, a forfeit. So we're only seeing 3 games right now. And yeah, it looks like Bill is crushing in this position with the white pieces. So they started off with a very strong center here. And after this move, knight to f6, this is a mistake because of the move e5. And look at all of these pawns in the center. A lot of tension, but this pawn push coming with a tempo against the knight. And we see now white can actually just dominate the center with these central pawns. And yeah, just castles trading off here. And taking here is an interesting move. So there's apparently queen d4 check. And potential problems. I didn't like opening the H file necessarily. But taking here, and the idea is that this king is going to be unsafe. So f7 is going to be falling. If they take, then bishop check is going to be annoying to deal with. So we see the queen check. The king can go to h1. You can also block on f2, which the computer is saying is slightly better. So, and Bill plays it. Bill finds this move here. Just keeping the king on the g file, doesn't necessarily want to be opposite of the rook on the h file. And now there's a problem here that black has to face. So you're either allowing taking on f7 with check, king going uncastled, or you're taking and allowing bishop check. Apparently bishop to e3. This is an absolutely beautiful, brutal move here. Bishop in to e3. And the idea is you're sacrificing the bishop to then play bishop g6 check. And just everything is working out in white's favor. So we'll see. Bill low on time, but absolutely dominating this position. Bishop g6 check is the most natural move for sure, but you don't necessarily want to trade these queens when you know how exposed this king is in the middle of the board, uncastled, unprotected, open d file, open f file, diagonals galore. So, I mean, this is a dream position to have for white, and we'll see what Bill comes up with here. And yeah, this top engine line is beautiful as well. Bishop e3, just distracting the queen. But okay, bishop takes on g5, and sometimes they say the threat is stronger than the execution. So the execution being diving directly into the check. Instead, we just see calm capture of a pawn. Bishop takes on g5, and that's going to cut a couple of squares away from this king. And so now we will probably see the check coming in. My mistake. We see knight to e2 first, hitting the queen. Interestingly, it allows for the queen to grab a couple of pawns, but that's exactly what white wants. White wants the queen to leave the d file. White wants the queen discovery on the d file after bishop to g6 check. If the queen grabs either of these pawns, it's going to be checkmate in one singular move. A nasty checkmate at that. Oh, wow. Okay, we're going to see it on the board. Queen takes on e5, bishop g6, check, checkmate. Bill with a big win there, improves to 2.5, and that's going to bring the Greek team another point closer to closing out the Division 9 finals. Let's check in with Josefina against Keanu, and it looks like Josefina is crushing, but there's only one good move apparently. It is a fork. Attack the bishop and the pawn. This king is cut off. How did the king get to a3? That's a great question. What's that king doing there? Josefina also up 2 minutes on the clock. So let's take a wind back and see if we can find what went wrong here. So Josefina goes for that fork, gets the piece back, gives a check, wins the h-pawn. What's up, Jan? Good to see ya. E takes, bishop takes, queen hits the rook, bishop comes back. Light square bishop comes in. We see a trade. We see the e-pawn is grabbed. And yeah, bishop takes the a-pawn. And we see a couple of checks. A flight square for black. Check. Rook c4 was found. Rook takes on c2 now. Bishop coming in. This is actually checkmate threatened. So you have to block this. You have to defend with rook a1. No, rook a1 is actually mate in 2 with rook to a8. But white trades off one rook. So now flight square for the king, able to go to b4, but check, king b4, there's, yeah, pawn takes even better, undoubling the pawns, protecting the bishop, protecting the pawn. Rook now forking some pawns of their own. But Josefina is up 4 pawns to nothing. So, yeah, also that pawn is defended too, I almost forgot. Okay, rook comes back to defend the pawn, and black is up so much time. Oh, we have another round starting, and it looks like I missed a draw maybe. I don't know. All right, let me redeem this almond for Jan. Sorry to keep you waiting, but thank you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We've got an Italian here. This is my favorite opening. Let me keep an eye on this game as it finishes. Check. Not a skewer because of the bishop. Ooh, that's a fork. That was a nice move. Bishop to d5, hitting the rook and vacating the square for the rook to come in with the fork. And that is going to force the resignation. So Josefina winning their second game. And I think with the forfeit, this match is already over. Yeah, and we have, I guess this game is aborted. But yeah, we saw Bill win. We saw Macro win. I guess it's Lazarus that won that one then, is my guess. So that's the match. Congratulations to Macedonia. A big win. Big season. Their inaugural season, joining for the first time. Not the first school from Greece to join. We did have National Technical University of Athens playing last season in Division 1. So maybe Macedonia saw Athens competing and joined. But very strong players from Greece. Very strong performance here. Division 9 stood no chance. I mean, Brawijaya made it to the finals, but is getting absolutely demolished here by this Greek team. So congratulations to Macedonia on a big win. And they do have, I guess this last round here is being played out here between Macro and Gara. I don't know if this is a rematch or not. I'm not sure what's going on. But yeah. That's going to be it, you guys. The season is pretty much wrapped up, and we're going to have a bit of a break. So if you're from the US, happy Thanksgiving coming up. And we're going to have, obviously, a winter break before the next season starts next semester. It's a rematch because he DC'd, probably. I think that maybe it's up to the players, but usually for a disconnect, you wouldn't rematch. Usually it's the results that is shown on chess.com is final. The only reason why you would rematch after a disconnect is if it was aborted, as in the game didn't really have any moves played, and so there's no result, or if there was like a server issue and the server dropped. It looks like we've got another game here starting too. I think this is a round 4 game, but round 4 is completely optional if the match is already over. But maybe I miscounted, so who knows? And maybe this game is being replayed for whatever reason. Thank you, Nifa. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. So I'm probably going to get some food after this. And yeah, I mean, the Collegiate Chess League, we still have a final round of fair play reviews before anything is finalized. Wow, this is a crazy move. If bishop takes, there's queen takes. However, there's something else going on here. And what exactly is that? Well, there's bishop to e6, and if we take the knight, we're getting forked. So that's one thing. What's another thing? There's apparently knight c5, and that is a discovered double attack on the queen. And if queen takes bishop, then there's knight takes here with the fork. So there's two ways out of this. It looks like white is being able to corral one piece. That was not a move played by either player. But yeah, Gara, under 2 minutes now. Can they find? There's two ideas that black has to get out of this. Not easy, but yeah, they're 2 minutes down on the clock, so that's also a big issue. But the computer likes black here. It says that g4, it's a fancy tactical move, but it doesn't quite work. And black here finds the idea knight to c5. This is a discovered double attack against the queen. Queen has to move. Now, luckily, the queen can take the bishop on f5 and should do that. But then black, they can save their knights by taking on b3. So Yeah, nice defense here. Gara was able to find it against the Greek team captain here, Macro. Knight takes on b3, forking the rook and the bishop. So we're expecting to see the rook move, probably rook to b1. And then that knight really is trapped, has to trade on c1. So, wow. We see a different move here. Knight takes on b6, saying, go ahead, take my rook, because I'm going to take yours. Black says, it's okay. I'll just take back on b6. Thank you for helping me develop my queen, connect my rooks, and now I'm going to maintain this pressure. You're going to have to move. So we see rook to b1, knight takes on c1, rook f takes c1, and now a capture on d4 from both sides. And yeah, at the end of the day, black is simply up a pawn and probably a safer king because of this g4 pawn push here from white. So the tactic didn't quite work out for Macro, but the game continues on, and Macro is happily up about 2 minutes on the clock. Gara just barely ahead of a minute left on their clock. There is the 2-second increment, but it's not going to be that much. Now, here is an interesting idea. We could push d5, but that could give black a connected pass pawn. That being said, maybe this knight finds its way to the d4 square. Not sure if that's going to be able to produce anything, and I think the knight would be happy on f5. But it's going to take some time and some work before the knight could ever dream of getting there, because you can't go this way because of the knight. And there's a queen on the way on f5. So pushing this pawn, probably not best. We see a capture, opening up the b pawn, and now queen attacking the c pawn. Now, the c pawn can be defended, but this is not one of those ways. This is actually a free pawn. Queen takes, that's a pin. So Macro able to get some of that material back, evening up the count, and probably getting another pawn along the way. So black really has to defend this, and they're going to be forced to find a move that they should have found a move prior, is rook ac8, but no. They go here, and now that allows white to just snag this pawn, but it's not so simple, because the g pawn is hanging. This queen is really aggressive in attacking a lot of things here. So we see rook takes. Now this is a blunder for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, knight e7 was the move. That's a fork. Instead, we see the knight diving and hits the queen and threatens mate. But white has this nice resource here, knight to e5, saying, go ahead, take my queen because I'm going to take yours. However, black doesn't have to trade. They just bring the queen back, maintain the attack on the queen. And this is actually fairly brutal. I guess you can play queen to f3. What does the computer think? Oh, hold on. The rook on b1 is hanging. So if you go here or here or here, for example, queen b3 is the only move. Oh, wait, queen. Okay, I thought we were just checkmating. I guess there's the pawn block. And the queen opens up to defend as well, and the knight's defending the f3 square. Very low time for Gara, though. So Gara is completely winning. This was not the move. f3, now there's queen takes. The knight is hanging. What else is going on? Knight's got to move, or rook's got to defend it. Queen a1 was apparently the best move. What's up, Stuckman? How's it going? How are you? Queen b2? Whoa, what is this? Oh, a trade. Fancy. 10 seconds for Gara. King steps up, getting out of the pen. Attacking the rook. Rook comes down. Black's activating their rooks. Doubled rooks. Pawn push. This queen is so well placed. for Gara, covering the long diagonal, just putting pressure on white's pieces, just taking up squares away from the white queen. So yeah, black is up a pawn, safer king, much better position here. Queen comes over. I would consider queen d3 here. Queen d3 looks really strong. Queen here, rook hits the queen. Bring the queen back. It's tough though. You might lose your a pawn. Maybe queen back to a3. You lost the chess game. That's unfortunate. Okay, queen goes here. That allowed for queen takes on a4. Rook coming in on the second, obviously a very strong idea. This rook is defending the f pawn, but now maybe there's an attack. Okay, so the queen's guarding the f pawn now. Pawn is pushing, trying to dislodge this rook. This rook's going to have to come down. And you're going to either have to take with the king or take with the rook, and you're going to get exposed. But no, macro has no time, so they flag. So that's a point for Gara, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know exactly if that game was replayed or what the problem was with that. So but yeah, I don't even know if it matters. I guess they haven't gotten to set 4 yet. All right, well, we've got Lazarus, Prime, and Rito, who I thought it was Rito that was missing, no? No, Rito. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what's going on in this match at all. Hunita has 2 points. I don't know if that's 3 points now for Hunita, but Hunita has been winning. Hunita is a strong player for Brawijaya. Probably a large reason why they made it to the finals. I don't know. Rito looks like they just showed up. They're playing against Lazarus Prime now. This might have been the missing player. I think it was the missing player. So they're playing Lazarus Prime. But yeah, I think after this game, I'm probably gonna head out. This is probably the last game. I mean, they might do another set, but if Macedonia made it to 8.5, they won. So it looks like the G file is about to open up. So both sides are moving the king away and trying to double their rooks. Now the problem with rook g2 though is that black has this really annoying bishop h3 idea. So I would consider just taking on f4 right now. G takes, and then black's going to be stranded with double isolated pawns, but the good news for black is they have this connected pass pawn. But yeah, it's a very closed position for these bishops. E5. Yeah, that's a strong move because if pawn takes, we have rook check. So we see this trade, and now takes here, but the king is going to scoop that up pretty easily. I would have tried, there was this really fun idea, bishop to h7, and if bishop takes, then the pawn is promoting. So maybe an opportunity that white could have tried something there. Unable to, though. And yeah, I mean, this just looks like a draw to me. Oh, and now it's losing, actually. Yeah, white should have taken that. Oh, and black should have taken here for sure. This is losing yet again with bishop f5. Bishop f5 is a winning move because look at the pawns on light squares. And this pawn is a passer. Yeah, it takes, and now you can't save the a pawn either. So black's gonna win this. So time scramble, sort of a mismanaged pawn and bishop endgame that could have been a draw if you had traded bishops. It basically was a blockade. But you allow the bishop to remain on the board, and now there's a queen on the board. And we might see resigns here from Rito. So Rito showing up late and still getting beat on the board. Lazarus Prime has a queen, scoops up the bishop, and now is going to corral these remaining pawns and the king for a nice checkmate. So only hope that white has is either a disconnect or a stalemate, but no, there's going to be no stalemates. GG. So Lazarus Prime getting a point somewhere. I don't know, just adding on to the victory. So I think the players should be done unless they're going to play another round, but I think I'm done. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. We're going to find a channel to raid. So yeah, stick around for that. Otherwise, thanks everyone for being here, for hanging out, and major shout out to Macedonia for a big win here. I think I know who I'm gonna raid. Let me double check. Ooh, there's a lot of people on right now. Yeah, they're gonna keep playing. I guess we can finish out and watch the last. All right, well, we'll see if they can play fast. We've got the fourth and final round. The players that are getting the most bang for their buck here. Yeah, black's hunting down the dark square bishop. That's gonna make this dark square bishop even stronger. Ooh, bishop here. Yeah, black really delaying taking on e3 for as long as possible, even inducing h3 first, and then developing with the tempo against the queen, and only then taking on e3. And now there's some dark square weaknesses around this white king. So I really like how Macro is playing this. Team captain from Macedonia, earning the bishop pair. Also ahead on the clock, even with the black pieces, having gained more time than they've started with. So that's very impressive. Meanwhile, we've got Josefina versus Rito. These, I guess, are the top boards. The strongest rated players in the match. Two rating point difference. Josefina's been playing very well. And now has the white pieces, and looks like they have the advantage as well. So white's already castled long and put the king on b1. Very safe place to be. Black has yet to castle, and now the knight is under question. So it looks like black is going to try and castle kingside. if they're allowed to at some point. But they elect not to. They're just launching the storm. B5, looking to distract perhaps these knights, but yeah, white just continue on the attack. F5, and now castling still is an idea, but white's gonna open up black for sure. Wow, and we see a piece sacrifice. What's the idea? If you take with the bishop, you're losing your knight. So this is a tactic that black is playing. But white says, I don't care. I'm just going to take here. And now, apparently, queen g2. Beautiful move. Saying, now the queen's not defending. We've got the rook here. And I'm attacking the knight a second time. And if you move it, I'm going to take this pawn. And your king is going to get just destroyed. So Josefina's looking super good. And yeah, poor Rito showed up late and finally showed up and arrived, but is getting crushed in their games. And yeah, we have all 4 games for the first time being played out. We got Gara versus Bill. Looks like we have the first 2 moves played, and now Gara is thinking what to do here. C3, just supporting their central pawn. And yeah, who else do we got going on here? We've got yeah, I mean, this is macro and taking advantage of these dark square weaknesses that we had pointed out earlier. So super well played. I feel like queen to g3 is just really strong. But then I guess there's knight f1, or either knight to f1 is annoying. So yeah, knight f1, rook in now, threatening queen takes on h3, which would be threatening checkmate. This pawn's structure is just so annoying for white to deal with. Just guarding the f3 square is so brutal. King goes to the h1 square. And now I'm wondering if we can just play like c6. King over, making space for the last piece to enter the equation. Macro is just cooking up a storm right now. Playing so well. Lazarus Prime against Keanu looks to be actually fairly even. Wonder if there's knight takes b6. Maybe you walk into a pin. So maybe you don't want to do that. So who do we watch? It's looking like, yeah, knight finally moving. Queen takes g6. This is going to be a forced checkmate on the board very quickly. King steps up. You have knight d5 check. This is a beautiful move. Forces the king to the f file. And you know what happens on the f file? You're getting checked. I would have gone with this rook from d, but okay. Check here. You can block, but you're going to have to give up the queen. Only legal move, legitimately. King here is mate in 1. No, that's not mate in 1. It's mate in 2. And yeah, mate on the board. So Lazarus. No, not Lazarus. Josefina. I don't even know what the full score is, but it's just an onslaught. So yeah, and look at Macro's game here as well. F4. I mean, what are we doing? White is just tied up into a ball. Their pieces in a knot right now. And the best move, bishop c8, just trying to crash through, I guess. But also likes h5, tearing open the g file. So putting a lot of pressure on g4. What else does it like? It likes a5, just Taking away that square from the queen is kind of funny. Okay, yeah, and now f3. This is what I immediately looked at, because we're cutting off the queen's defense of h3. We're hitting the bishop, so we're forcing a piece sacrifice here. Bishop takes, and actually it's kind of interesting, because if we take back the bishop right away, we're actually losing our bishop on e5. So perhaps there's a time that we could trade on h2 now and then take. But the best move apparently is just taking on h3. But yeah, I feel like white can then take on g4 maybe. Oh my god, you guys. Queen takes h3, bishop takes e4. There's rook takes on g4. Sacrificing the queen because you have mate on g1. But no. Black takes on f3, and that is a mistake because you lose the bishop on e5. But black is threatening mate in 1 on g2. But now there's queen takes f3 actually, and it looks like white has made it through the worst of it. So white's actually up material, which is such a cruel irony. Black had such a good position. And they're still doing well. I mean, the rooks are still doubled on the g file, but white has done a great job defending, especially in time pressure as well. And all of these trades have really benefited white. The king is as safe as he's ever been. And that's a mistake because the c4 pawn drops. So yeah, I guess white's still in time pressure and still on their back foot. So macro's looking good. Looks like Keanu was able to beat Lazarus Prime. So Keanu gets their first win of the match, which is part of the benefit of playing on. Okay, so the rook is hit. Apparently 94, that's a brutal move. Bishop takes with check, but hold on, is there not rook takes? Oh, but now you have rook back rank check. Knight f1 has to give up. Now the king can continue moving. And now what, 94, rook f2 check, force the king to move. Now bring the knight in, maybe. Although it is annoying to get checked here. Rook d7. I guess we have rook to g7 block. Wow, just taking. Okay, I forgot. Yeah, the knight's defended anyway, so not a big deal. Knight stepping in, trying to take on h6. There is rook to g6. Knight back to e5 is annoying. Here, checking the king. Just king over. Nice and simple. Now we're attacking the knight. Knight moves. We could take another pawn. Threaten to pin the knight. That's probably what I would do. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Rook comes over. Rook a3. Nope. Just push the a pawn. Knight hits the rook. That's a check. King steps up. Oh my god, folks. Macro just blundered mate. So brutal. Rook check, rook block, and knight mate. Oh, unbelievable. So, two at Pablo hangs in there in the time pressure and gets a beautiful combo mate that Macro just blundered. And now we've got the final game of the match. We've got Bill versus Gara. Bill's down to less than 20 seconds, and Gara has been crushing this entire match. So it's a shame Brawijaya couldn't have more help for Junita, who's been playing so well. Ooh, that's what we call a blunder. Yeah, well, I mean, the queen was hanging, so it's not like... Yeah, rook here is very nice. Queen d2 is very strong. Takes here, and I mean, you can go bishop to g5 if you want. You could just move the queen if you want. Up a lot of time. Yeah, this is a beautiful move because it just forces the queen trade. Well, f6 delays. I guess it did delay the queen trade. Oh, knight here. Which, I mean, white's playing so well. Queen b2 maybe. Queen here as well. Threatening knight check. What else? Yeah, pawn here to prepare for the knight check. It's very nice. Rook check. It's kind of awkward, but also kind of strong. King here, there's knight check here. And now knight check here is going to pick up the queen. Beautiful. Just absolutely dominating this position. Bill's got 2 seconds. I mean, this is over. Resignable. What's Gara thinking about? There he goes, picking up the queen and flag. All right, so Gara, very strong performance. And yeah, I don't know. There's probably... Oh, is this the total score? 10.5, 5.5? That does add up to 16. Anyways, congratulations to University of Macedonia winning first place in Division 9 along with $300. And congrats to JoeBruin team who goes away as second place, which is good enough for $200. And a very dominant performance here from Macedonia, taking advantage of a missing player from JoeBruin, but maybe not even needed, as Rito did end up showing up, but losing both their games anyways. So it was really just 2 points, which they didn't need. They would have still won 8.5, 7.5. But irregardless, that is the end of the season for the CCL. I will send you guys off on our raid, so please stick around for that. Thank you all for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honor. And for teams that won prizes, please be patient, as we will be having a Thanksgiving break this week and still have to finish fair play reviews, and then we will be emailing team captains that won. All right, you guys, thanks again for being here. You're all amazing and awesome, and I will see you all later. So yeah, take care and stick around for the raid. We'll have some fun raids because we've got like 3 channels to raid with. All right, take care. See y'all.